Heather here. Okay, as promised, I wanted to share a really easy way for you to figure out where in the heck is your diaphragm, and are you using it in singing or not? Are you engaging it or not? This always reminds me of like middle school choir when Miss Crittenden was like, okay, let's sing from our diaphragms, and all of us were like, okay, and we poked out our tummies and nothing changed because we didn't really know what she was talking about, but we pretended like we did. And so people say that, use that phrase all the time, and I think most of us are like, okay, but we're not sure what you're talking about. So there's a really easy way for you to figure out, am I engaging my diaphragm or not? And what the good thing about that is you're using this strength from down here to project and give you the volume and sound that you want, instead of trying to do everything from your throat, which is damaging to your vocal cords, will leave you feeling exhausted and hoarse at the end of a set. Whereas if you're engaging this, then all the support from your core is giving you lots of strength, lots of energy to project the sound that you want, and also to control the breath that goes out and resonates, instead of letting your lack of control, your lack of breath control how you sing. So we're talking about support more than control today. Today's mostly just about finding where your diaphragm is, making sure you're engaging it, making sure that you're using it in singing and as you're warming up. So if you're not 100% sure where it is and whether or not you're using it, if you have a balloon around the house, find a balloon. If not, you can do this later with me, or you can just watch and see like, oh, okay, I can try it without a balloon. The air pressure is easily displayed when you blow up a balloon, and to create air pressure of any type, you're gonna have to use your diaphragm. So, and then you can just transition that into singing, and voila. Okay. You can also do this by sneezing, by laughing heartily, or by blowing your nose. But I decided that maybe blowing my nose on a video wasn't the best way, plus could be gross. So we're gonna use a balloon. Okay, so here we go. Okay, notice. Breathe through your nose first. Okay, so you should have felt something happen right here when you're blowing up the balloon. So let's do it again. Take a balloon, breathe through your nose, pay attention to what's happening right here. Okay, so when you're blowing up the balloon, in order to get the air pressure that you need to blow up a balloon, you cannot just go. That's me giving really like that. It cannot blow up a balloon with poor air pressure, right? Bad support. You have to actually engage and have some power to blow up a balloon, right? Or to blow your nose, or to laugh really heartily. So there is your little trick to first of all be like, oh, that's where my diaphragm is. Okay. And that's what it feels like when it's engaged. It's not taking my whole belly and poking it out. It's not constricting and just like crunching my abs together. It's, oh, there's that. It's kind of like a slingshot. I like to think of it like that, except that you don't want to pull back and let it all out at once. It's kind of like you're going to pull, engage that, and then you're going to keep that engaged as long as you possibly can throughout the phrase, because that's what gives you the power that you want and the control of the breath that you want, versus your lack of control controlling how you can sing, and the volume and the power that you can get in your dynamics throughout your range of voice. So, okay, so now that you've kind of figured that out and you found, oh, that's where it is, now let's put a breathing exercise to go with it. This is a sizzle. If you are in any type of choral environment, you probably did one of these, and this is the reason why. It's to see if that, now that you've got that engaged, can you sustain that breath over a phrase instead of letting all of it out, like letting all of the air out of the balloon at once? Because then you have struggles like sustaining a pitch or sustaining volume and dynamic through the entire phrase. And so that's why we're going to do this. Okay, breathe in through your nose. Watch this. This isn't going, whew. This is not going up and down. This is working. Just a couple breaths. Try that. Okay, now you're going to do a sizzle. So this is just a straight sizzle. So breathe in and And you can see that can kind of go on a long time. I'm still talking, and that was all in that one breath. So that is like, oh, look how much breath I have, how much air that I have to then put out onto a phrase. And if I don't let it all out at once, just like that sizzle did not, I can sustain that for kind of a long time. Okay, now the next one I'm going to have you do, and you can really feel the engagement here, is do a staccato sizzle. So because that really lets you see that it's at work, okay? And have your hand here so that you can make sure that you're engaging down here. And if you forget again and you're like, oh, I don't know if I'm engaging, blow up a balloon so you can feel that come out. Okay, so sorry, I'm a little bit cruddy this morning. Okay, so you're gonna blow up a balloon first, or pretend like you're blowing up a balloon to feel that air pressure. When you put that air pressure out, you will feel where the diaphragm is. Now that you know where that is, you're gonna go into a straight sizzle and continue that. And do that several times just to get your air pressure and breath control in check. And then from there, you're going to go to staccato. And make sure you're still engaging in that. And then after you've done those exercises and you've kind of gotten your breath control going and in a rhythm, then you're going to go into a pitched vocal exercise and keep it simple, because the point right now is not to have like a cool, crazy vocal exercise. The point right now is to make sure you're engaging your diaphragm in the exercise, right? That you're not just like forgetting that and then going back to old habits, but you're now engaging so that you can get the colors and the tone quality and the dynamic that you want as you're singing. You know, when you start a song, the worst feeling is to get to like the climax of a song and to really want to give it your all, but chickening out and just going all head voice and not cutting through the band because you're scared. When you know you can hit that pitch, but you're just scared to death, and then you're like, well, maybe it's going to crack and maybe it's not, or whatever. So that's where the breath support and control really comes in handy. Okay, so let's take a deep breath in. E-yo, just on E-yo, okay? E-yo, sing with me. This is staying engaged. So in other words, it shouldn't just be like, and then all from here. It should probably, it should be staying engaged the whole time. And I'll be honest, as a soprano, it's harder for me to be, to support all the time in the mid-range because it's easy. It's in my speaking range. But I know I have to like make sure I'm really engaging on my upper register so that I get the volume that I want. So I'm just saying, if this is an easy range for you right now, still engage. E-yo, 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 E-yo. Okay, so I want you to continue that, and you can do more exercises than that, but I wanted you then, after you've done your straight sizzle, then you've done your staccato sizzle, then you do a really simple exercise to see, okay, now I'm going to put that into pitch. Now it's time for you to choose whatever song it is that you're working on or that you want to learn and practice using that diaphragm, using that engagement and that breath support now into the song of your choice that you love. And so I hope that helps you if you were trying to figure out where in the world, where is your diaphragm and how can you know if you're engaging it. And that's one of the ways. Watch yourself in the mirror. Make sure that you're not taking shallow breaths and this is happening. Make sure you're not having a lot of straining here and reaching for this. A good little trick and tip to see if you're really straining that way is to make with your hand an L shape and to do like this. And that doesn't mean you need to sing straight. It doesn't mean that you can't ever extend up or just like really get into things. But it does mean that if you find yourself constantly when you're doing this, you find yourself constantly straining up and lots of straining here. That's actually hurting the pathway for your breath, and that's constricting it instead of opening that up. So you don't want to be like all the time, right? You want to have some good movement and freedom without the strain, and you don't want to put all the pressure on your precious vocal cords. Give some pressure down here in your core where they can really handle it. So anyway, I hope that helps you today, and I look forward to sharing some more with you again. Have a great day.